Then Envil ordered other adventurers to check on the monsters that Dariel had previously defeated. After the inspection, Envil stamped Dariel's quest and called Gashida to the Adventurers Guild. Envil was angry with him because he worked too long and the monsters were wreaking havoc everywhere. Envil also told Gashida to work even faster so Dariel would not replace his role. Gashida should also thank Dariel for helping with his work, but Gashida thanked Dariel with an irritated feeling. In Dariel's mind, Envil shouldn't need to say that to Gashida because he's still a teenager and mentally unstable. Then Gashida immediately took the next quest without Tenvil's approval. He also underestimated Dariel's quest because it was the easiest and most suitable for any rank like him. Gashida said he would prove he was far superior to that old uncle who had just become an adventurer. Then he left from there. Afterward, Dariel said goodbye to Envil because he wanted to go to the forest. But Envil lasts for a moment of Dariel's time as he secretly raises Dariel's rank to D rank. He deserved this rank for having killed monsters before. Not long after, Marika, already very beautifully dressed, joined Dariel to go to the forest. Dariel didn't invite Marika to do this quest together because she also has a lot of work in this house. But Marika says that she still wants to go with Dariel. He just came to this village, and Marika has to be his escort everywhere. Dariel felt Marika was a pushy girl, so he deliberately allowed Marika to join him. While Envil seemed to greatly approve of their relationship, his face carried this expression. After they left the village, Dariel told Marika to go home because many monsters were roaming the forest. Then Marika said she would be fine because the residents sometimes also went to the forest. But usually, they enlist the help of adventurers to get into the deepest parts of the forest, dangerous places, or check out any troublesome situation. After walking for a long time in the forest, they arrived at a fairly high cliff. Marika said she was really looking forward to an obstacle like this. Then Marika went up the cliff first, and Dariel followed her from behind. Well, this scene was censored from the official studio, so I hope you won't be disappointed. Marika had wished to become an adventurer for a long time because she wanted to be useful to the village. Marika, at that time, deliberately went into the forest alone to look for medicinal plants. She received the quest from a grandmother who had a cold. This was supposed to be Gashida's duty, but he didn't want to do it, and Marika had to complete it. Then Dariel said again that Marika didn't need to drive him this far, but Marika still wanted to accompany Dariel because she wanted to repay his kindness at that time. So Marika wanted Dariel to relax and just watch her for the day. Dariel replied that he had seen Marika's body since climbing this cliff. Then Marika wanted to join hands with Dariel, she reasoned, so that Dariel would not be separated from her. Dariel rejected her and asked for another way except join hands, and Marika asked Dariel like this. Finally, they arrived at a place where many herbs were there. When Dariel was doing this quest, he saw Marika, quick and nimble to collect lots of herbs. Dariel thought that Marika was used to this. When Marika was putting lots of herbs into storage, she saw Dariel picking the wrong plants. After Marika explained the details about the herbs, Dariel thanked her with a smile. This made Marika blush when she saw his smile. Then they continued picking up other herbs. Marika also easily lifted the tree trunk, which surprised Dariel greatly. Even Marika could see very thin deer footprints on the ground. Marika plans to catch the deer for dinner tonight. In Dariel's mind, he was amazed by Marika's ability because it was as if she could do this alone. Then Dariel asked Marika, when you were chased by the monkey monster yesterday, couldn't you kill it directly? Then Marika replied that she was very scared to fight monsters. Because of that, Dariel remains the hero who saved her yesterday. Then Marika, an ordinary citizen, gave a quest to Dariel because he was an adventurer. She wanted Dariel to call her name less formally because Marika wanted to get closer to Dariel. To be honest, Dariel was a bit confused by Marika's behavior, but he would give in to her wishes. Then Dariel was forced to say there was a deer behind Marika, so she wouldn't hug Dariel anymore. It turns out that the deer is really there and will attack them, but the deer suddenly jumped over them for some reason. When they returned to the village with the monster and the deer, Gashida was very upset because Dariel took away his quest again. Several days had passed, and Dariel was getting used to adapting to this village. Even he already considered Lux Village as his hometown. Dariel's life in the human region was very smooth, and Marika also often helped him daily. Then Dariel went to the Adventurers Guild to report on the herb quest he did every day. But he met with Gashida and is still very annoyed with Dariel. Not long after, Marika greeted Dariel very cheerfully.
ご飯にします?サウナにします?それとも
But Dariel didn't care about Marika's greeting and immediately reported the quest to her father. But Envil is confused about Gashida, who Dariel has taken Gashida's quest twice accidentally. Dariel apologizes because he has caused Envil a lot of trouble. Marika hugged Dariel's hand and said Dariel didn't need to apologize because dangerous monsters had to be killed quickly. Envil also agreed with Marika's words. After all, adventurers had to work together to protect the village. Then Envil said he was also worried about something from the neighboring town. Envil got a quest about a C-rank snake monster between Lux Village and a neighboring town. This monster was more dangerous than the two monsters that Dariel fought at that time because it had poison. After Dariel and Marika saw the quest, Marika said that the Adventurers Guild in a big city should be the ones taking care of this. Then Envil explains that the big city will also be doing it. Envil got the quest from a neighboring town because they wanted to tell this Lux Village to stay alert. There has also prepared a large army to kill the monster. Gashida had seen this quest before, so he would likely join them. Despite that, Marika was annoyed at her father because the adventurers from Lux Village had trespassed into other territories. If Gashida didn't have permission from the neighboring town, Envil would be in big trouble again like he used to be. In Dariel's mind, he just discovered that Marika's character is tough and fussy. Then Dariel asked Envil for permission to bring Gashida home. Marika also wanted to accompany Dariel, but Dariel told Marika to stay home and do her work. Initially, Marika stubbornly wanted to go with Dariel, but Dariel says that adventurers have been assigned to explore dangerous places, so Marika should wait for Dariel and Gashida's return here. After hearing that, Marika was a little irritated because her words were said back by Dariel, but Marika still complied and would just wait for Dariel here. She also prepared medicines for Dariel because she was so worried about him.
じゃあ、行ってきます。
When Dariel had walked quite far through the forest, he suddenly found a large snake trail sign. Dariel was surprised because the large army that Envil referred to before was nowhere to be seen. Before long, the snake monster appeared and was chasing Gashida very fast. He was terrified and couldn't attack the snake monster because its defense was so high. Meanwhile, Dariel had to risk his life to kill this snake monster. But unfortunately, the monster is still chasing Gashida, and Dariel rushes to help him. After the snake monster was killed, Dariel immediately treated Gashida's wound with the medicinal plants there. Dariel also ordered Gashida to drink the medicine Marika had made. Gashida was very scared while crying. He thought that today was his death day. Even Gashida wasn't sure if the poison from the monster would disappear from his body. But Dariel said that poison like this could be cured because of Marika's high-quality medicinal herbs. Dariel has also learned a lot about this medicinal plant and is sure that Gashida will still be alive. Dariel only did this treatment as much as he could. The most effective medicine was Marika's. At least Dariel can be helpful again to other people, and his life is not wasted.
よく泣くな、この子。
The next day, Dariel had breakfast with Marika and her family. But suddenly, Gashida came there to greet Dariel as his older brother. Gashida can't wait to work with Dariel when his wound heals. Then Marika was annoyed with Gashida for disturbing Dariel's activities today. She advised Gashida to go home and rest so the wound could recover quickly. But Gashida doesn't want to go home and join Marika's family for breakfast. In Dariel's mind, he really enjoyed his current life in this village. He has a lot of work to do because he has to protect many citizens. Dariel also remembered the 4 heavenly kings who had kicked him out back then, and he hoped that they would be fine when fighting the heroes.
四天王の方々も元気だといいな。
さん、風邪ですか？
いや、なんでもないです。兄貴！
On the other hand, it turns out that the four Heavenly Kings situation worsened after Dariel was not in the Demon King's army. Zebiontae failed to spy on the Heroes Party. She said she was the strongest king and was accidentally defeated by their new member. Zebiontae also blamed the spear user for messing up her plans. Then Bashubaza said that Zebiontae should have investigated the spear user first, but Zebiontae didn't respond to Bashubaza's words. Instead, she blamed Dariel's substitute soldier for not gathering information. Due to this, Bashubaza fired the soldier and looked for a replacement. The four Heavenly Kings were confused as they had changed soldiers many times, but nothing suitable to their plan. Then one of the girls from the four Heavenly Kings, Doroi, said that the Demon King's army still needed Dariel. She wanted Dariel to come back here because he was very useful in battles, tactics, and army leadership. Even whatever work he does always succeeds perfectly. Doroi had been watching Dariel for a long time. In fact, he is a very loyal person serving Doroi and continues to protect her. Doroi had been silent since then because she couldn't go against the decision of Bashubaza, who was very stubborn. But now she wants Dariel to return to the Demon King's army, and Bashubaza has to accept Doroi's words. But Bashubaza still can't do it, and he is furious that Doroi said Dariel's name in front of him.
名前を